The reigning MVP and NBA champion Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors has been lighting it up. So far, the team is the only undefeated team in the National Basketball Association. And not only are they beating teams, they're doing it in convincing fashion. He's been putting up 30-plus points and sometimes 20-plus points in a quarter. I'll start with you since you're the basketball aficionado, Chris. Is he the next Michael Jordan in this case? And when I mean that, I'm talking about dominating, the way he uses his teammates, the way this guy basically makes you an instant contender.
Yeah, different than Jordan in the sense that he has the ball in his hands all the time. He's the best player in the world right now. I don't think Jordan at his prime was as tough to guard as Curry is right now, because you got to guard Curry from 45 feet in, because his handle is ridiculous, his jumper is ridiculous, and he can get his shot off.
He can nail half-court shots like nothing.
And then he can still make passes and make his team better. I don't think I've ever seen someone dominate like this. The closest thing I saw was Nash's MVP seasons, when he could shoot it from everywhere and guys were dunking all over the place just from him being on the floor. But this is the best I've seen, and I'm just happy I get to watch it.
How you guard a guy who can do everything. It's near impossible. You have to do so much to do so much right, and that's pretty much simple as that. How do you stop a guy?
It's unbelievable right now. It's just unbelievable to watch.
We already heard your answer, and it's safe to say, has LeBron or has Curry dethroned LeBron as the best player in the world?
Easily, not even question.
There's no little gap. It's quite substantial.
I think that he's grown the gap now, and I'm not sold. I've never been sold on LeBron, and that might shock some people. I've never been sold on him doing everything. I think Curry could do it by himself. I don't think LeBron could do it by himself.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Curry that's separating him right now is everyone last year said their year was a fluke and that their jump shooting team can't win, and he came out ready to prove that they were wrong. And
I will say this about LeBron. He's been to the last 5 NBA Finals. So I don't
he's
know.
Still good. He's still good.
He's still got the title. But I will say this. You're starting to see Curry. I think he's 1A at this point and could eventually take over. I'm thinking either by the All-Star break or if he wins another title, he'll take over for sure and cement his place as one of the greats, considering this kid came from Davidson and was considered an below-average player.
Yep.
It's pretty darn impressive to see that from Mr. Curry. Well, speaking of that, we'll keep on that train and talk about not just Curry but his team. They're off to an 11-0 start. If you look at what they've done and you look at the comparisons to the 95-96 Bulls that won 72 games, is it possible the Warriors, the depth that they have, a guy like Andrew Bogut should be starting, not on the bench, but yet he's been effective. Is this team realistic has a good chance of winning 73 games? Andrew, going 73-9 in an NBA regular season.
I don't know if in today's NBA that's possible, in today's way we play the game.
Really?
I want to say yes, but if I was betting, I'm going to say no because the odds are so far against that. But they have so much depth, and how do you can, again, not just get beat by one guy beating you many different ways, but all the team can beat you many different ways.
Their second unit is the most dangerous.
The problem is they play in the Western Conference, which is by miles better than the Eastern Conference, which makes it tougher on them. I really think if they had that record, it makes it more impressive than Jordan's teams when they were in the East back in the 90s. I think that the West is so stacked with talent that you have to be good every single night. It's very physical. And the way that they play, if you look at any level, college, even at our ACAC level, everyone's trying to play like the Golden State Warriors. They're literally changing basketball with the way that they play and move the ball. It's impressive to watch.
Yeah, and the big men have to learn to shoot. And not only shoot, I'm talking about launching 3 balls. And, I'm a Celtics fan. So I'm seeing some of their big guys themselves trying to do that. So I'm hoping that this becomes a trend to continue. It's nothing like a 7'3" guy nailing threes from well beyond the arc. Okay, let's move on to hockey and talk about a team that has potential up the yin-yang. I know you're not going to like this, Andrew, but
I'm crying
they
already.
struggle. And I'm not talking about just a little bit. I know they're holding on to a final wildcard spot. If you want to talk about playoffs in that aspect, it's still early, about 20 games in. But you got to be worried for these Pittsburgh Penguins. They can't seem to score. If they do, it's a goal. Are you concerned?
Well, yeah, I'm a fan of the Penguins. Usually I don't watch the regular season because I'm off doing sports here, and I always make the joke.
That's the only thing you'll get to watch with this team.
And that's the problem. I always make the joke that I'm like, I'll watch in April when they make the playoffs. Well, I might not get that this year because they can't score. Why? Because they have no one else to help them. You can't just rely on 3 players to score everything for you. you can look around the NHL and that's the way it is. You can't and bringing in a contract like Phil Kessel that size, now you can't bring in a secondary player to help you out. I'm worried because we've spent so much money on 3 guys who aren't producing, and now good luck trying to get rid of that contract that you have or any contract.
Well, how about this, Chris? Maybe the pressure is on so much at this point because Phil Kessel's there, and the money that they spent for him is there. Could that be a reason?
It could be a little bit of the issue, the pressure. I think there's some underlying probably team chemistry issues right now is what it seems like. It just doesn't seem like they're clicking very well, and I don't know if Crosby's injured or had a major injury last year that hasn't been disclosed, but something doesn't seem right when you see him and Malkin. It's not what it looked like last year. Now, hopefully it changes for their sake and for your sake as a fan, but it doesn't look good right now. The depth is a problem as well.
No.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. The saving grace for that team, and you wouldn't have said this a year ago, Marc-Andre Fleury. And he's been a godsend for the Penguins as of late. All right, guys, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we're going to have Over Under next.